Today's lesson is on dividing fractions. Our goal today is to divide fractions. We start with some vocabulary. We have this term reciprocal. These are two non-zero numbers whose product is 1. For example, 2/3 and 3/2. Multiply them through, you get 6 over 6, and we know that 6 over 6 equals 1. So these are reciprocals. We also have 4 and 1/4. Because 4 is the same as 4 over 1. If we multiply that by 1/4, we get 4/4, which equals 1. In kind of easier terms, the reciprocal of a number is formed when you flip the original number. So let's make sure we know this. We identify the reciprocals in these numbers. Feel free to pause the video and try it yourself while I go right through. So 5 is the same as 5 over 1. Therefore, its reciprocal is 1/5. 1/9, flip it, we get 9 over 1, which in lowest terms is 9. 4/5, we flip it, we get 5/4. I recommend leaving it as 5/4. 3.5, well for that one, we have to make it in a proper fraction. So 3.5 becomes 7 over 2. Flip it for a reciprocal of 2/7. Important term for dividing fractions. So to divide any non-zero number, we multiply the first term by the reciprocal of the second term. So for example, 1/2 divided by 2/3. Well, keep our first term the same. So I'll write that here as 1/2. Division becomes multiplication. And we flip that second term. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. Just as I have down there, we just multiply it through. 1/2 times 3/2 gives us 3 over 4. We know from multiplying fractions, we just multiply each part together. So you've got 3/5 divided by 6. So I recommend rewriting it with 6 as 6 over 1. Then you note first term stays the same. Multiply by the flip. And you look, and we see that 3 and 6 have a common factor of 3. So divide each part by 3. So we have 1/5 times 1/2 equals 1/10. This one, we've got 8 3/4 divided by 2 5/8. From our multiplying lesson, we know our best way to go here is to turn these both into improper fractions. 8 3/4 becomes 35/4. 2 5/8 becomes 21/8. Now we go ahead and do our stay the same, turn the multiplication, flip the second one. Kind of big numbers here. We're going to look for anything we can do to simplify. And we look at 4 and 8. Divide out 4 from each. We have 1 and 2. 35 and 21. We have a common factor of 7. So now we have 5 over 1 times 2/3. Multiply right across the top to get 10. Across the bottom to get 3. 10/3 as an improper fraction. If you want to make it a mixed number, it becomes 3 and 1/3. So go ahead and try these problems on your own. Please pause the video, work these out. Now I'm going to go right through and start solving. So 5/6 divided by 7/9. That becomes 5/6 times 9/7. I look for anything I can do to simplify it. Divide out 3. This becomes 15/14 or 1 and 1/14. Again, doesn't matter what form you prefer. 2/3 divided by 4. Then that's 2/3 divided by 4 over 1. Becomes 2/3 times 1/4. We can go ahead and divide 2 out of these two terms. finally, the last one. 4.5 divided by 1 1/4. Make these both improper. So we've got 9/2 divided by 5/4. First term's the same. Divide times multiply. Second term we flip. And again, you see we've got 4 and 2. Divide 2 out there. We got 18/5, which is fine by me. Or that becomes 3 and 3/5. This concludes your lesson on dividing.